Hi everybody and welcome back to Sunday Flex and Reflect, a Sunday sit down. I'm in Sundays all reds today. I've got the red pants on. I've even got the red shoes. On. I've been out and about today with one of my clients, Nicholas. He took me out to a bit of a car show. And we had some good time. I'll post some photos in the coming time. So if you were listening last week, I had a carryover question from last week, which I'm going to answer now, which was how has AI, which is very hot at the moment, and emerging technology impacted personal training, and what future developments do you anticipate will further revolutionize how we approach health and fitness? So the way that I see AI is it's growing at such a rapid pace. There are so many billions of dollars that are being invested in this space. I don't even know that people understand what it's going to look like at this point. For me, honestly, I can see at some point that probably everybody has some sort of cyborg or robot or something that probably looks like you and me in their household that they can exercise with. I think that now, is that 5 years away, 10 years away, 50 years away? It's probably less than 50. But if you think about technology, like the device that I'm recording this on right now, the technology that sits within this phone, I'm using the Apple, iPhone 15 Pro Max or whatever. That didn't exist when I started business, right? When I started business, so 15 years ago this year, when I started business, you couldn't take photos with the phone. All you could do was answer and text, and it was like 22 cents a text, something like that. And it was like limited to 140 characters or something. The data that we have access to now, the speed that we have access to, the technology didn't exist and the infrastructure didn't exist back 15 years ago. So that's just 15 years, and what we can do now has evolved. I mean, I think probably where we'll get to first is that there'll be holograms. And so if you want, say, me to be, with you exercising, then you put your phone down, or it's probably, I don't think we will have phones forever. Phones will disappear and it'll be something else, whether it's, say, something on your watch and you click it and it just appears. Or you're putting on not like your VR goggles, but something that's less obtrusive. And it's all just happening in front of you. You're driving it by what's in front of you. And so then you can see me as a full-size hologram that appears right there, to be able to talk and do with you, whether it's live or whether it's recorded or whatever, that will exist. So that's, I think, the extreme side of it. And then, we'll get to the robots and that when it becomes a cost-effective, way of being able to get those into people's houses. Take a step back from that. I think there's a lot of potential for, say, you put up your phone and you're exercising in front of the phone. And then there are some, I think, apps that do this a little bit at the moment, but where it can tell you, no, your technique is wrong. This is what you need to do to improve your technique. I think when it comes to the food and that kind of stuff, I know we need to be really careful with AI, because it's only going to tell you whatever questions you ask. Now, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know that you need a certain nutrient and you ask for a certain plan, then you can do that right now and say, okay, give me a meal plan that does this. It's like, but the AI doesn't know you, and it comes up with a disclaimer at the bottom like this. I think there's a lot of potential to use it for medical stuff, diagnosis. I think there's things like, say, I'm looking at my face right now. Now I've got a lot of freckles and stuff, and on my arms and everything. I think where it can be used really effectively. So maybe you've got the technology, it scans you and it says, oh yeah, look, there's this one, you should really, look at this, or it maps it over time and says, yeah, look, you really need to go to that next level. But of course, that's got some limitations too, because then, somebody, say, gets a skin cancer, says, well, I did this with the app for the last 6 months, and now you're telling me I've got cancer. You sue the software provider, all that. So it's really tricky. The bottom line here is, with no matter where the technology is going, you cannot get away from, you need to lift the weights. You need to eat the food. You need to make sure that they're highly nutritious foods, nutritionally balanced, that you're filling any gaps with supplements, trying to eat as close to nature as you can. You can't escape from that kind of stuff. And you can't escape from sweating. You can't escape from, I'm getting a burn in the muscles. You can't escape from all that. Or mind you, I just saw this week a TikTok video where you can buy, there's a company out there making these silicone upper body, I can probably get a whole bodysuit, upper body, male, probably get a female one too, full muscular suit with the six pack, the big shoulders and everything. It looks so lifelike. But like, why? As soon as somebody touches you, it's like, okay, that's rubber, it's not real. But, you know, you've got to do the work. You can't get away from doing the work. All right, so let's move on to some of the other questions. Thanks for that one. All right. Okay, so beyond exercise and diet, how do you tailor your mindset and wellness coaching to meet the unique psychological needs of each client? So yeah, that's a good question. Because when we think about, you go to the gym, for instance, and what are people there doing? They're there exercising. Most people don't follow through with good food anyway. And so then you step away from that and say, well, okay, what's happening from the mindset perspective? So what I like to do for my clients is you've got to understand where they are right now. And I can do that pretty quickly with people. And what I'm doing is I'm making an assessment as to, all right, so this person is a high performance athlete, for instance. This person has never worked out before. They're in a poor mental space. They want to create some momentum. They want to improve their mental health. They want to improve the physical them. They want to build in some lifestyle habits, etc. I mean, I have such a spectrum of people that are really struggling to those that they just want to get the edge. You know, they're looking for that buffed edge or that high performance edge. Most people I work with, just like you and me, and they just want to feel better. They want to look better, but they want to feel better and they want to have a better lifestyle, a healthier lifestyle. So it's really doing an assessment of each person as I'm talking to them, listening to them, and working out, okay, where are they at? So for instance, somebody that's just new, they're really struggling, they're not in a great mental space now. If I put them on a high performance plan, then they're most likely going to fall at the first step because it's more intense. It requires much more attention and focus and consistency. So what I do is then I say, okay, well, obviously this person they can handle this much at the moment. So let's just get them to make some change. And then through that change, they will feel better. So I give them a change that's going to be manageable for them and give them the biggest bang for their buck. And sometimes that just comes down to asking a question, hey, I can see that you're not in an awesome space right now, but I want to get you feeling better as soon as possible. What I find is when people follow this meal plan and in 3 days, you feel better. Like you feel cleaner, you feel less bloated, you feel more energized. How many meals do you think you can change from what you're doing right now? Okay, great. Let's do that. Focus on these. So most people say, well, yeah, look, let's say that most people tend to eat around 3 meals a day, sometimes with a snack, so maybe 4. I say, okay, could you make those 3 just highly nutritious meals? Let's just focus on 3 of those and then you can get an extra snack. Do you think you could do that? No, I don't think so. Or it could, yes. And then so just modify it from there. So, all right, let's move to getting 1. Which meal is the easiest for you to make that highly nutritious where you've got the most focus? And we focus on that. So it's really understanding where someone is at, meeting them where they are, and then doing that for a period of 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. So, okay, can we go to that next level? Can we add in something else? No, we've got to keep it the same. Yes, I think I can. I'm feeling really good. Most people normally surprise themselves and they get quicker results than they expect, and they feel differently and better than they thought they would because they've never done it this way before. So, everybody is different, they really are, and it's kind of understanding where they are, understanding what their barriers to success are, what their limiting beliefs are, and trying to then negotiate those. And then over time, I find out that, okay, normally I can tell pretty quickly, I'm talking in the first 5 to 15 minutes, whether there's something underlying what's holding someone back. And that can require professional counseling, or, it could be deep-seated relationship issues or something, really sitting in someone's past that they need some professional guidance on as well. So I've got some good allied health professionals where I can refer people to that as well. So it's really very much a case-by-case basis, but looking at making progress. Doesn't matter where they are or where you are, it's like, how do we improve you every single day? All right, good question. All right, next one. This one about plateaus. I've had that a few times before, so I won't cover that one. All right, so this one's about, can you share how you incorporate holistic health strategies such as stress management and sleep optimization into your clients' wellness plans? So often people don't know why they are the way they are. There can be some obvious things. So if somebody's eating a lot of fast food, drinking a lot of alcohol, for instance, they know that there's part of them that knows that, well, I probably shouldn't do that. But they need somebody outside of maybe their family or outside of them to say, hey, do you want to change that? And normally if they've taken the step to come and see me, the answer to that is yes. I say, okay, what do you think you can manage? And I talk to them about the health side of things. So let's say it's alcohol, for instance. I say, okay, well, ultimately, I'd like you to remove that from your life and only have it on social occasions, for instance. And then I talk about the health benefits of not having it in their life. I said, but okay, let's just say that people are having multiple drinks a night. I say, oh, do you think you can do that every second night, like straight away? I said, yeah, I think so. Then normally pretty quickly, most people are able to just either cut it down or dramatically reduce it. And they notice how much better they feel because they're in a rut. And that can happen with food too, takeaway and that kind of stuff. So there's that part of it. But it's kind of similar to what I said before. It's understanding where each person is at and understanding that, okay, obviously somebody is in a very toxic work environment, for instance. And so, okay, well, what do you actually have some strategies for, like you can tell if somebody is really down about their work or angry about their work, or they'll just tell you. It's like I'm wearing a white lab coat and they feel like they can tell me everything. And, you can see that, okay, they're in a job that they don't like, they're not growing, it's quite toxic and negative, and they really need to change. And so we'll have a conversation around that and say, okay, do you have a plan in place to move? Most people don't. I'll say, okay, do you think that's something that would be good for you? And they say, yeah. I say, okay, well, what if you have that as a strategy? Because if you have a plan to change something, psychologically, it's a little bit like a placebo effect. Let's just say that you feel stressed and you want to go on a holiday, and you want to go on a holiday. You don't have to go on a holiday to feel less stressed. Even just going through the process of planning a holiday and knowing that I've got a holiday, say, coming in 6 weeks, 6 months, and you've planned it out, all of a sudden you'll be less stressed because you've got something to look forward to. That's kind of like finding that job. It's like, okay, what if you take some steps? Yeah, you're not going to get a new job overnight, most likely. So what if you work towards that? Sometimes it means upskilling yourself, working on yourself. Some people, it's just a confidence thing as well, and building your self-confidence. And if you feel better about yourself, you've got more energy and that kind of stuff, because energy can be a confidence thing as well. If you're really lacking in energy and you're trying to put yourself forward and you think that, well, I don't have the energy, I don't feel confident in that I'm going to be able to bring the energy that's needed for this role, then you say, I'll just stay where I am. And it's easier, right? It's easier to just stay where you are, but we don't want to do that. We want to push ourselves. So again, it's about really understanding. So what are the stresses in people's lives and how do we minimize those things? And automatically, just by moving more and exercising more, that can help with stress. Other things that I do with people is say, okay, well, I want you to start each day really, really well. And so I want you to get up a little bit earlier and go for that walk. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes, maybe it's 20, maybe it's half an hour. Do that very first thing in the morning before you have breakfast, before you go to work, whatever. Do it then. Listen to maybe me on my podcast, or plan out your day, positive affirmations to yourself as to how successful you're going to be, focusing on the things that you've got to get done today. It really just sets you up for success right from the very beginning, and you'll be less stressed because you're more organized. At the other end of the day, maybe it's finishing your day and having a specific wind down sequence. Maybe it's going for a walk after work as well. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's just taking some time out to just chill. Getting changed out of your work clothes. Maybe it's having a shower. Maybe it's just sitting down, being comfortable. Maybe it's cooking a nice, healthy meal. Have a strategy to do that, and then have a nice wind down sequence at night so that you've got good sleep hygiene. You're going to the bed at the same time. It's a nice environment in your room, all that kind of stuff. And so that you're getting better quality sleep as well. So there are a couple of the big things that I look at. So making sure that what are some strategies that we can give a person to reduce their stress levels. And then honestly, it's then a bit of an education program about toxic relationships, toxicity in relationships. I'm not just talking intimate relationships. I'm talking about family, friends, work colleagues. That can just drain you completely and hold you back, in a big way. Your intimate relationships are going to be the most potent because this is somebody that you're spending like big chunks of your life with. And so you've got to learn to create a better version of yourself and understand yourself first before you can tackle some of those other things. But then that's another skill as well. I'm teaching people how to do that. I've got a lot of life experience. I've had a lot of, various relationship, challenges and so forth as well. I'm just walking through strategies that really are proven to work, can also be really helpful. All right, we're going to do one more question. What is this one? What methods do you find most effective for educating and empowering clients to take control of their health outside of the gym and environment? It's kind of related to, I guess, what I just said there before. Again, it's about understanding where people are at. One of my things is about a whole of life. Like, how do we change someone's lifestyle so that you make everything that I do for people a part of your lifestyle? It's not a program that you just do for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. It's something that you embed for the rest of your life. I've been training 36 years now and I just love it. I cannot live and produce the results that I do for me, for my clients, have as much energy as I do, have the health that I do if I didn't live this. And that's super important for your longevity and success. It's not like, okay, I'll do this for another few years and then I'll just, I'll go eat, drink, do whatever it is that I want. That's, a big part of my success comes down to my lifestyle. And that's what I teach other people too. So I think this is really important to keep in mind when you're looking to work with a coach, and we all should have coaches. I have various coaches in my life. You need to find somebody that has a proven track record over a long period of time, a lot of success stories, but they live the lifestyle that you want so that you can embody what it is that the person is doing. They need to have a proven track record of doing it. And I think that it inspires people. Like my clients want to be like me. They want to live like I live. They want to have the lifestyle. They want to be pain-free. They want to be able to go and do whatever it is that they want. They want to look as young as I do at the age that I am, etc. So I think that's really important. And it's you've got to lead by example when you're in the industry. But I guess for me, it's that's why I attract the sorts of clients that I attract because they get it and they can see that I've been doing it for a long period of time, had a lot of success in doing it, and people want to understand how they can do it for the rest of their lives as well, which is why I have clients for over 10 years because they get it and they understand that I'm their person. So just conscious of the time. So we might leave it there for today. There was a couple other questions, but I'm sure they'll come up again in future days. So have a great Sunday, everybody, wherever you are in the world. It's Saturday over the other side of the world. Take care. I'll see you next week.